keep going.
There you go. So we sorted out the backlog. We went through all the tasks that we have here for this sprint. Basically, we have a few managerial parts, which basically takes care of these user stories that we broken up the entire front end in. So from my end, I'm doing the managerial stuff as we discussed. I'll be going with Marco to maybe write up a better explanation of how each user story is implemented for Luca to do so. I also have to communicate with Sam on the parts of communication with the backend, the CAD actual simulator. So we had discussion, short discussion and planning with Sam about how are we going to actually connect with the API and what kind of request and response and data types instructions we can expect. So that took some debating, conversing, and figuring out how this is going to work. And then basically Luca presented its plan, which in this sprint is going to be consistent of these two tasks. Basically set up the current stack that we use. It is a Vue.js stack. So we have a standardized set of libraries that we use. He's going to set it up, and I think he already did it today. And then the next step is to take the entire workflow of the front end, the entire, I don't know, something like 20 screens, and make the navigations through them, figure out how the actual routing is going to be happening. And then somewhere in between, Luca will also look into what kind of solutions he's going to implement for certain animations, and also specifically how the actual animations are going to, be implemented, because Mark also gave him some room to, let's say, interpret everything and dip in with his own, let's say, nudge of creativity. So yeah, we went through that. It took about half an hour. Me and Sam did a little back and forth on the API, and that was basically it. At the moment, Luca is then. So this is the current sprint, the current task, although it's few of them. We didn't go into too much breaking down, since it's only the two of us mainly conversing, and Sam is only said that he wouldn't have that too much time to dip in, so that's okay. That's what we expected, to do the majority of the work. So yeah, and as currently a sprint goes, it's going to be 2 weeks, not 3, as I mentioned. That was, I don't know if I said it wrong on the last sync or some title, something doesn't matter, but it was a mistake. So for the next 10 days, Luca is basically going to set up everything, and I'm going to, we already had our own GitLab repository pulled up, so we're going to keep using that. It's just for the sake of our own optimization to keep the builds going automated. But I'm also going to make a sync with a GitHub repository, and it'll push the initial commit with the stack, I think, sometime tomorrow, and you'll be able to see it on your own GitHub account for comments. Yeah,
that's great. That is great.
One note. Okay, so that's basically it. I can stop sharing. That's the main thing I wanted to show you. So the only note that was from Marco, a good one, since we mainly operate in Slack, we don't have recording capabilities. And I'm okay, and we're completely cool with your transparency policy. So we'll switch to Zoom next time, and I'll try to figure out how the recording. Oh, there's the record button. Okay, never mind. I figured it out.
Yeah, and I can give you a live stream key.
Okay, sure. I can set it up. Yeah.
And that's probably the easiest way to go.
Yeah, the only thing maybe to mention, I still haven't set it up. It's been tons of work, so I'll probably do it sometimes tonight. Set up some kind of weekly reviews and plannings the way we said. So I was thinking about making it daily, but Luca is the kind of guy that takes like 3 days and 3 nights and just does the 90% of the work. So I don't want to bother him with some like daily routine. So we're just going to make it Friday, Monday for the next 6 weeks until the entire thing is done. And internally, we're going to meet up twice weekly with Marco and Sam, probably maintaining each time. And I'll give you, weekly reports on the sync, and that's what we can expect for the next 6 weeks. So this is technically week 1 going.
Woohoo! Yeah, fantastic. That's great.
Okay, I think that's it for me. If any other questions, you guys.
I guess just what's more a question for the design, I guess. Are the last few screens pretty locked in, or are there any pieces of the design that we want to push people to give comments on, or me to give comments on, or anything?
Yeah. So there's the good So these are the last two screens. You can take a look at them and just comment on whatever impression, image, or just that. But also, like, when we get I'm also thinking about, like, when we get to the colder version, when we're gonna have a prototype, and when we see the whole picture and everything is actually clickable, and you slide things around and stuff like that. When we get to that part, maybe we're gonna change some stuff at the end.
If I can just
and
drop
maybe we're gonna have
here.
some inspiration.
Yeah, the entire last sprint, the third sprint for the last 2 weeks, is basically designated for testing and actual changes in actual UI.
Yeah.
So the way I planned it out, I took entire 2 weeks, entire sprint, just to have the app in prototype phase, everybody clicking around, posting comments. So I think it's going to be enough for another 10 work days to do all the change requests, whatever they might be.
Yes. So Griff, just to clarify, there's no blocker on that.
Okay. That sounds like a great plan. So basically, after this month, we're gonna probably want to like tell everyone, hey, we need like 2 days of hard testing and comments. Like, please, like play. And then that way, if we can, sequester that into like 2 hardcore testing days where we just like push it to the community and give them a really easy way to make issues and give feedback, then you guys can have the last part of the 2 weeks to implement.
Yeah.
I guess that's just one thing that I want to make sure is in there for the prototype, is having a really easy way for someone who's in the prototype, some giant fucking button that's obnoxious that says, hey, you idea for improvement, click this, and it makes a GitHub issue or something. I know it's ugly and not pretty and offensive to art, but probably useful.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. We can put like in a bottom right corner or something, or bottom up or whatever, and just like suggest an improvement or give us a feedback or whatever, and then it just links to the GitHub with the create new issue or something.
Okay, cool. Okay, any other questions on the front end? I guess related to this in a way is, Andrew, do you know if Sem and you ever made the like really ugly front end where you just can put in some numbers and it interacts with cadCAD?
I think it's still in the code somewhere, still in the repo somewhere.
But
what do you want to do with it?
Just see if it's deployed and see if we can get that going it's kind of a different front end, but just for testing the cadCAD.
Oh, I have no idea where it is, if it's still running.
Okay, I'll push them on that.
I recall there was a front end that I played around with before I started designing this one, and I think Sam shared that one to me. It's an older version, so I think Sam should have a link to that. And I think I found it somewhere in the docs, but
I'm speaking about something different, where we using the current cadCAD model just so that we can start seeing the graphs pop up, and kind of just like sequestering that one piece. That Sam made some progress on already, where it's just like, here's 6 boxes, put in a number, cadCAD runs, and kind of just like a prototype for just that interface. I know we have some progress there, and I think it would be valuable to save you guys some time.
All right.
Well, in general, from my end, in terms of front end, the only thing that we actually need, and I've discussed this with Sam, is the final form of whatever data object we're going to send to the CAD-CAM. Is it a JSON or some kind of a SOAP protocol, whatever? So as I understand, there isn't any communication between the backend and frontend until the actual final step where you submit all the game variables, and it's a simple two-way request. We go in, we wait, we go out, and display the data. So the only thing that I need, and if we can dig this up from a code, I'll probably dive in if necessary. But that's the only thing,
I already spoke with Sam about that. I also sent him the JSON schema of the response. We also have decided on the input. I'll dig it up and then I'll send it to you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly needed, honestly, just to play with cadCAD without having to deal with all the, actual game. Just like, is this cadCAD model giving responses that are valuable?
Got it.
So that's its core purpose. Although it also happens to force a solution for, the interaction front end to cadCAD.
Before we move forward, just one thing. Question that popped up on our spring meeting was the leaderboard, and what are we gonna, save the data? Are we gonna have user profiles and stuff like that? And I also put it in the mockup at the beginning of the game where you put your name in. So we basically just save that for our own purposes. The last time decision that we made, Griff, I just wanted to clarify once again, is that for the MVP, we're not going to have a leaderboard. We're not going to have themes and challenges and all this kind of stuff. That was this decision that we made a couple of weeks ago. So I just want to make sure that we're just one more time clarify that that is still the case. And we agreed that it would just be useful to save the results and the user's name to a database, just in case we want to just take that out and put it on a web page and say like, hey, this is the leaderboard, like these are the scores, just to have them for our own purposes, but without actually creating a user profile and saving that to the user, because that's a whole bunch of work to do additionally.
Yeah, I think it's fair to leave that off the MVP scope and make it a stretch goal kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
it can also be contributors, because there was the long story short is there's a huge desire for this to become a collaborative game as opposed to a competitive game. And so there's a misalignment on having a competitive score list without doing it with a larger scope than what would be reasonable for the MVP. So easier just to say, okay, instead of doing the high score list in a way that might offend some of the team, just don't do the high score list until we can do the high score list in a collaborative way where teams are created. But I think having the names, and if there's a way that we can put their name in so that it has a reason to have a name, because otherwise it's kind of weird, right? Why'd I put my name in?
Yeah, because when you start playing a game, you put your name in, right? So what's your name? You're the character or whatever.
Actually,
But then,
when you're playing an arcade game, you only put your name in if you have a high score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. And also, like in our narrative, you actually become a person. So, but anyway, yeah. Well, let's keep it for now, and we can always remove the name. But yeah.
What I would say is, instead of a high score list, what if we just give people scores and at the end say, congratulations, name, you got this score. And we can still have the creation of a score, but not have the list of the scores. Would that would that be okay?
Yeah, because we actually then allow people to make a choice whether they wanna claim their score or not, by giving a name or something.
They could tweet. We could give them a tweet option. Tweet your score.
That's that's what I wanted to do actually at the last. Whether it's a good feature, bad feature, and then whether you want to tweet that's your score or whatever, but then you enter your name or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, like the whole point is, like, we're not creating users, we're not storing anything in the databases, creating profiles and whatever, and we don't have a leaderboard. And
okay, there is a need to allow people to go back to their inputs. I don't know if that needs to be cached or something, but I mean that's
yeah. Simon knows. We talked about that. It would probably be saved locally, so let's go back and try again or change some inputs and then move forward and stuff like that.
No database, but locally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard to take notes when I'm talking. Cool. Well then, let's go cadCAD.
Yeah.
Did anyone Tanner work out? Start working at all?
Oh, I actually haven't heard from Tanner since then. I gave him a call, and then I explained to him like how everything was done. and I actually haven't heard from him since then, which is, maybe it's kind of like my fault. Like I have to actually follow up with people and then talk with them more often instead of just like hoping that they'll get the job done and come back in a week or so.
Yeah, maybe a collaborative work session where they can feel like you're there to answer their questions or something. Like, hey, let's schedule this hour to like quietly work, but if you get stuck, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I've always found that's kind of a way to get someone hooked, because they don't
Mhm.
usually, people don't know how to start. It's really hard to just like pick a point to start.
Yeah. So I reach out to him. Hopefully he'll reply, and then I'll yeah,
Yeah,
send the offer.
I had 4 people ask me if they could help, and I told them all, yeah, you can, but the prereq is that you've done the Robots and Marbles tutorials. And Tanner was the only one who had, and so the other ones went back to do those tutorials, and then I never heard back from them either. So, what do you think the outlook is on getting something by the end of the week that we can start like tweaking the parameters?
Uh, okay, so right now I have something where the proposals are getting funded, and then you can actually see it being deducted from the commons pool. But there is still a lot to be done until we can have something which we can rely on for the game. For example, one thing I wanted to do was revise the conviction calculation and make sure and implement a safety so that it doesn't get calculated twice within the same time step, because if you do, then it feels like there's actually 2 time steps. And given the size of this project, there's always a danger that you might forget that it's actually being updated somewhere and then shit happens like that. So so if you look at that link there that I put in the Telegram channel, you'll see that there are now some new debugging messages which make seeing what's happening inside the model a lot more easy.
Nice.
The idea is that now, since I finally have some sort of a complete loop, excluding the existing participants buying more and participants leaving, and the whole sentiment part, and that's not yet done yet. I want to take this moment to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to, and one of that is yeah, and the first thing that jumped out of that was conviction calculation and this alpha and the days to ADP thing, which was already wrong. Yeah, so there's a lot to be done still.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Cool. Well, then I can definitely, if no one by the end of this call does the math on the conviction, I can definitely throw that together. And yeah, I mean, what's your bandwidth on this? Because I think the front end is gonna beat you if we don't double down.
I think it is gonna beat me too. But I think even if I double down, I'm still not gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, if we
Don't worry, there's enough time for us to screw up and add a week or 2.
Well, that's good news, I guess, in some ways.
Prepare for the worst,
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well then, I guess for me, Andrew, the biggest thing is like the model doesn't have to even be accurate as long as we have a way to display the 3 graphs and a front end that we can start tweaking it, just so that then we can have the front end be displaying bad data that makes no sense. That's probably what I would say is like the biggest priority is just making sure that, okay, here's the sentiment graph, here's the conviction voting graph, here's the funding pool graph and the price graph, and this is a web page where we can put in the inputs, and just once we have that, then we can have metrics on feedback, and you know what you need to do to get the model good, but we don't know what we don't know, is wrong with the model. So having the feedback method will probably, I would say is the top priority if possible.
So basically, I shouldn't worry about making sure everything works as intended. I'm going to leave it to other people to give the feedback about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that we need to make sure people can give the feedback about that, and then you go back to, I mean, obviously people need to be able to sell from the curve. That's going to be an obvious, problem. So, but we know those problems. There's probably problems that we don't know yet, and once we have a way that a really easy way for people to play with it, the model, then I think we'll learn even more problems than what we already know.
If I just actually give the graphs to the front end, but you don't actually see what's going on in the model, because you don't actually have access to them to what the model is outputting, then how do you know whether anything's wrong in the first place?
Well, you can say like, if you run it 10 times with different parameters and the price is never going down, and then there's something wrong, just because it's not.
Price never goes down.
Yeah, that's that's the problem we know exists, but maybe we don't know that the sentiment always goes up too, or that the sentiment never goes up, or like so. And in the end, those are the metrics that matter the most. Maybe we find out that when you tweak the 80 days parameter, nothing changes. These sorts of things.
Yeah, these were the kinds of things that I was trying to catch for myself, but maybe, yeah, I should just leave it to other people, because then otherwise I never get done with this shit.
Yeah. And so, yeah, SEM is dealing with the chaos of OneHive right now. Their token went from like $1 to $1,000, and that's more money, more problems, man. It's a real thing in crypto. So they're having like emergency community builds. So I don't think we'll see much of SEM for the next 2 weeks for sure. So do you need some help on the front end?
Oh, I'm not working on the front end at all.
Oh, well, I mean, just that one simple front end that displays graphs and allows people to have inputs in a really ugly way.
Didn't I already decide everything with Sam? And then, well, I mean, I had one call with Sam where we decided everything, and then I basically just went back to work on my own stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So then what I'll say is, I should find someone to take that on.
To take on the front end stuff.
The really basic front end where that Sem already put together. I'm going to try to get Sem to do it first, because he knows exactly what needs to happen, and it could probably take him an hour, or maybe he already did it and it's just hidden somewhere.
Yeah, probably better to get someone else to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was digging for. Okay, cool. Okay. Any other questions on cadCAD or any other updates? Do you want to show something off, right?
I have just a short question. I'm a bit confused because of the names. I see in the Telegram channel that somebody tagged me with the lines 166, but the name is, I can't read it. Shinichi.
That's me, random Shinichi.
That's Andrew.
Oh, sorry, because it says Andrew here and your handle is different. Sorry. Okay, thanks, Dan. Clear that up.
Yeah, that's me.
Bye.
So, but did you want to show something off, Andrew, still? You said,
Well, what I wanted to show off was that Python notebook, the simulation.ipynb, and the new debugging messages. Yeah, you can see that. And then the graphs, they go up and the funding pool goes down in basically a straight line. Yes.
okay. I mean, was this something that you want to share for the live stream so we can go back and look at it, or?
Oh, I see. Wait, let me get on to, let me use my computer to dial in. Okay. Shit. Da, da, da. Hello.
Hi, we hear you.
Okay. This, and I want to share my screen. I want to share Firefox, I guess. Yes. Okay, can you guys see?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the beginning, it is useful to see what is the original state. I don't really trust these conviction threshold numbers. Maybe someone should recalculate them again. But what is nice to see is that the participants initially are given these things, and right now I set participants to always do something. So because 0.3 times sentiment was just, they were never actually doing anything. So I set that to 1. So whenever a new proposal comes in, everyone's going to have an opinion on it. But once they have an opinion on it, they don't really change it. So you can see the conviction has initially a stake. Oh, okay. So this is what happens when a new proposal comes in. Initially, they have 0 tokens. Da, 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 da. And yes, so now the proposal 60 has collected some conviction and it needs more. And we feed this again, and then their affinities don't really change. So even though it displays this message again, actually, I'm pretty sure nothing changes, although I'm really not sure. Okay, I really need to check this. Participant 0 was given, and he decided to distribute his tokens like this: 62.3588318. Yes, so his affinity did not change. Therefore, they keep on distributing their tokens all the time, the same way. So yes, you keep giving them the same stuff and they keep having the same opinion, nothing changes, and eventually the proposals pass. Then here you can see a proposal was created, and you can see participant 2, since he created proposal 65, he has affinity of 1 there, and then he decided to put all his tokens on it. That's cool.
Nice.
And then so on and so on, and so on and so on, and this goes on ad infinitum. Yes.
So participants are voting, and and you got some graphs.
Yes, these are the graphs. See, it's always like this.
Yeah.
And
Funding
the token
pool.
supply is going up because there are new participants coming in, not because the participants are buying more tokens.
Mm-hmm. And is there a sentiment graph yet?
No.
Cool. Well, this is a great start, though. clear data is being generated.
And you can turn this on and off via a parameter here called debug equals true. Just say it to false, and then nothing will come out. But I mean, I'll always put it on true because I need to see all this stuff.
Yeah. Nice. That's very cool, man. Getting results.
That's all from my side.
Okay, cool. Well, then that's our show. If you want us, I think I can do async on the math, but if you want to do work on the math with me, Andrew, we can do that right now, and we can let these guys go, or I can just do it like really quickly on some paper here.
It's like Japanese to me, so
I'm glad somebody said it before me, because I looked at all the data and graphs that I don't understand shit.
You're a developer. You're
Yeah, I know, it's make it worse.
No, I mean, it can't make sense because you have to have some crazy idea. Conviction voting is way too complicated on the back end. It's really simple for the user experience, right?
Yeah.
You go in and you pick your favorite proposals. That's it, but on the back end, the math that's happening, it's like if you do yield farming and you're trying to calculate how much balancer rewards you're going to get from the balancer pools, okay? Good fucking luck,
Yeah, I don't know what balancer pools are.
That's great. Lucky you. Yeah.
I mean, I've done some math in my day, but as I said, going up to manager areas.
yeah, for sure. So, well, cool. Well, that's the show. Great work, guys. Lots of progress this week, obviously, and I'm really excited to see what Luca pulls off this week.
Oh yeah, just one more question. Dom, our CEO, asked, well, in the most basic way, how can we get our hands on some money? On some
Hell
money?
yeah.
You mentioned something, and maybe I can somehow, maybe with Marco, we had some discussion about maybe meeting this week. So all three of us will be on the same location. So Marco, if you're up to it, come to our office and maybe just set up the MetaMask that you mentioned, so that we can do and explain us. And also I have a bunch of questions about the entire crypto, blockchain.
It's gonna be crypto 101.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the basics when it like blew up. I went online on GitHub, get some blockchains examples and see what it's all about, but basic level.
Yeah, we're gonna set you up a wallet, and then I'm gonna share the wallet address with you, Griff, and then you do the rest.
And
Okay, cool.
Yep. You just give me the address and the amount, and then we'll
wait for the gas fees to drop below 80.
Yeah, no, this is the great thing about Giveth. Who cares? We don't care about gas fees.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're on Rinkeby, so life is easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then cool. We'll that's a great to do, and definitely want to make sure you guys get paid.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Okay.
Nice to hear it.
Cheers.
yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Let's
So
do
do
the
you-
math.
Yeah, you want to do the math with me? Okay, we'll even do the live stream. It's pretty simple math. It's a little crazy because it's not clear, but it's not that crazy. Let me send in these notes. Are there any other to-dos that we need to make sure get listed?
Get listed.
Yeah, so that I don't lose the to-dos. So I need to go find a dev to make a simple front end.
And yeah, and then I should I should basically leave the bug testing to other people.
Mhm. Let's see in there. Where's simply confirming? Okay, cool. So I need some paper probably. I guess I can do the math in a
I'll just
Excel.
follow along and pretend to be useful.
yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna throw a spreadsheet up and share screen. I mean, I'm just gonna make it up, honestly. I don't know exactly how to figure it out, but I know it's not that bad. In fact, well, here's this. Have some of this already here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is a little spreadsheet here. And I think I can even share this with you if you'd like to look.
Hmm.
Hate putting people's emails on live streams. Good thing no one watches this, huh? Let's see, where is this?
No one watches it, and what's the point of this transparency stuff?
Well, it's better to have it recorded in case like Danny wanted to catch up or something was important that was said here, and then it's just there. And also it's more like we're accountable to the community. It's kind of like C-SPAN. Who watches C-SPAN, right? But knowing that it's going to happen, and the Congress isn't going to be saying stupid shit or doing stupid shit just because they know C-SPAN's recording it. So it's more like yeah.
Wait, what's C-SPAN?
Oh, this is in the US, it's like every congressional session is recorded and published on some channel that no one watches.
Oh,
That
yeah.
channel is called C-SPAN.
Okay.
So yeah, no one ever watches it. Dear God, it's so boring. Although I watch it. People do watch it. It's kind of fun. Okay, so we have days until, what's it called?
Days until 80% of maximum voting power.
Yeah, I couldn't find it in the code.
It's right there in the it's referenced a lot in the policies, and it's also referenced it's defined in simulation.ipynb.
I wonder if GitHub just doesn't search .ip those files, because I typed it into GitHub. I even typed in just 80 into GitHub, like search this repository for 80, and it didn't nothing came up. So anyway, so we should be able to do some simple math here that says like if alpha is 9, this, let's call this ADP equals, and let's figure out how to do that. So alpha is 0.9. So when 80%, so what their max voting rate is, there is an equation for that. Well, it's not here, but if for one token, percent to max, oh, there it is. Look at that. It's already done.
So you just go down till you get 0.8 or what?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's clearly a broken function there.
Why is it 0.1 now after 0.6? Oh,
There's a number of tokens put in was all of a sudden much larger. So, so here we go. It was 19 days for one. So at least for it's 18 point something. Because, oh yeah, here we go. So max is times 10. So I think that it's like, if I remember right, that's max voting power, pretty sure. Because if we change this to 0.6, max voting power is 2.5. Oh, yeah, here's the max voting power, 2.5. Max conviction. We change this to 0.9.
so if I put in one token, then after some time, my max conviction from that one token is going to be 2.5?
If alpha is 0.6, yes.
Oh.
Oops. If alpha is 0.6, max voting power will be 2.5. If alpha is 0.9, max voting power will be this 0.9. So now 80% of that is 0.8 times oh, sorry, this is in days. So now times 1 divided by 1 minus this. So that's how long does it take to get to 8? And now we have to do probably some crazy calculation here. So it takes, for one token, for 0.9, it takes 18 days. So there is a way to do this for sure. And I think it's in aggregation, it gets much more complicated, but if there's just one person voting, it's kind of simple. And then we have to derive the case where multiple tokens are coming in. But actually we don't, because we're just giving this person this one dimension. So I believe that
just has one dimension, right? So
yeah, I mean, we're saying, hey, if you vote, you know, the calculations will be what they are, but if you vote, here's how long it takes. So for 0.9, it's 18 point something days. This is just to kind of fact check the math. So how long does it take to get to 4? This is like 10-ish days.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
So trying to fit something to this.
yeah, well, it's more like just to fact check my math here. I think because now we have how many time steps, and the equation is pretty simple. It's just number of tokens. I think it's a log thing, and it's like how many time steps is the exponential. But then how do we add the same amount over and over again? Because it's easy when people are taking away their tokens. Maybe that's the way to derive it, is that the easy step is when there's no tokens and the rate is just falling. Because then we don't have to worry about the adding piece. So once we hit max, they lose 80% of their voting power, which is 20%. It's just one. So that's 8 again. Okay, 8 days. So this would just be conviction to the ninth, to the x power. So this is like
Plus alpha times
times alpha. That's right. Alpha times y. And then basically to the t. And so they're giving us t. And we're saying that y over y plus, is that right? Y, well, y over ay, so let's see, y plus over this equals 0.8. Is that right? When do they reach 80%? Because I'm going the reverse way.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the other way around. Let's see. Is it y plus y future?
I'll be right back, going to the toilet.
Yeah, no problem. I just gotta think here. It's the other way around. Okay. Okay, so now we just have to solve for, this is the equation, and we just have to solve for t equals what? So,
So ay to the t. To the t divided by y plus equals 0.8.
and so how does that log stuff work? What is the rule? Always have to look that up.
It's
I think it's t equals log. Wait, maybe it's shit.
shit. Even I forgot that.
Yeah, dude, I don't know whoever uses this stuff. Mhm.
Okay, so
Okay, here it is. It's this guy. So x equals log b y.
x. So t equals log
Base
b
alpha.
10 or what? Oh, okay. A times y.
Yeah, that's the base. I don't know. I can't make subscript, but I guess we just say maybe log. That's like the base, and then we'll put some space there, and then it's like 0.8 y. And then there's probably some magic around how we use base.
With this, you just log 10 both sides.
But it's not log base 10, it's log base b. And b itself we need to divide. And so there's probably some, here we go. So log a, no, but how do you take the log?
It's that one, the last one. Log AB is log CB over log CA.
Oh, 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 oh,
Yeah, use that
oh
up
yeah.
in school.
Yeah, oh shit. Logs are cool. So log base c b.
So C could be anything. You could use ln or you could use log 10.
Oh my gosh, I need to stare at this. Too many tabs here. So 1, okay. So then we have t equals, yeah, so we'll just say log 10.
So log 10 is 0.8 y divided by log 10 a times y.
And then there's some more log math that we can do, which is the log of two things multiplied by each other is just an addition.
Okay.
So I'll just change this right here. Oops, this is y plus 8y is y plus. Okay, so if they say, so that will equal whatever number of days they say. And then we need to actually solve for alpha. Okay, so maybe we went the wrong way here. We need to solve for alpha. Oops.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we can do something crazy instead. So A equals, well, A to the T.
A to the T, and yeah, is 0.8 y plus divided by y to the T.
And then
Then there's a log again, right?
fucking logs. What are the rules? Okay, where is that? No, where's that other one? BC equals A log BA equals C. But we want B. We want to solve for B. So, oh, we just have to square, we have to 1 over root. That's a totally different game. No logs.
What, really?
Yeah, I think we go, like if this was A squared equals this, we could just square root both sides.
Yeah, okay.
So here we T root both sides. So we
Okay.
go
A equals 0.8 y plus to the power of 1 over t over y.
root T, or to the basically to the 1 over T. So if we'll see, let's see if this is right here. So if 18 something days, 10ish something days. So if we have 10, so 0.8 times y, I guess the test is to make this an equation and drag it down. So test, and it should just always be the same. So let's start here. Equals 0.8 times, shit, I lost the plus in this math. 0.8 y plus. Oh no, I didn't lose the plus. It's just the plus is not, the plus is there. So 0.8 times, what is this, times y plus divided by 10 all to let's see, 0.8 y to 10 that does not equal alpha. Shit. just be. How do we test this? T.
Well.
So really what we want to say is like solve for alpha if we have t. So if they say t is 10, the alpha should be 0.8. So I think something's wrong with this. This plus is actually like y plus 10.
What the plus is basically like the new conviction. It's not, doesn't actually mean plus.
Yeah, it's the new conviction, but it probably shouldn't be the new conviction. It should be the conviction 10 away. So it should be like in 10 steps, the conviction will be this, not the very next conviction. So it's really y plus to the t power. The plus is to the t power, right? So that's a little harder to test. Okay, I might have to come back at this with a fresh mind and give you an answer tomorrow.
All right. No problem.
I think I'm just too distracted. But anyway, it was fun.
Yep. So what's going on with OneHive? What did it do anyway?
OneHive is an amazing project. They are an Aragon dev team, and they have launched Uniswap on XDAI. They've also created like a DAO on XDAI that uses BrightID and actually distributes free tokens to people who have been verified on BrightID and go every day to claim the tokens every 2 days, like a UBI. And the Uniswap instance actually feeds into the UBI token, buying honey every time people trade on the Uniswap on XDAI. And they're also just a really awesome dev team that, for instance, made conviction voting and also manage like all the cool applications on Aragon. They manage them.
So they're a dev shop that works a lot with Aragon DAOs.
Basically solely with Aragon DAOs. As far as like using Aragon DAOs to, deploy DAOs. And so
and they had their own token. How come I heard so much about the Uniswap token, but I never heard about the OneHive token?
Well, it's on XDAI and they weren't promoting it, but then someone else started promoting it, and it went from nothing to just pumping to ridiculous. Like Sem works for OneHive, and he had a friend who's just a college student, like freshman in college, and she did some front end work for $500, and at the time honey was estimated to be worth $1, and she got 200 dye and 300 honey. Well, she didn't even know until this weekend. I think Sem told her that 300 honey is now worth $300,000. Right? And it's like, what? A dev in Barcelona makes like 40K a year. So, like that's, a lot of years of work for that one small thing. So this is an unhealthy situation, and they were not really ready for it. So there is a challenge there. There's definitely going to be a challenge there. So they have an influx of people coming in, and they don't have really great community guidelines right now. They haven't really prepared for a culture of this. They have their conviction voting instance, and now it has like $4 million in it that they're using their conviction, that people with honey can vote on to allocate using their conviction voting pilot, which was the first ever instance of conviction voting. And now it has $4 million in it. There's a lot of scary things on the cultural side, on the practical side of technical like reliability, right? It's really scary. So luckily, they're very talented. I trust them on the dev side for stewarding these funds. And also Aragon DAOs have a lot of really positive rules that they thought about this. Like for instance, if they create an admin vote right away, all honey distribution has to stop. So like it's, you know, like right now, for instance, they found a bug in their conviction voting that they're, or not a, like a game theoretical bug more than anything. And so they have to vote, and now conviction voting is stopped for 2 weeks. So like no one can propose anything, no one can do anything. So like there's these benefits, or like the technical side is there, but what's really needs help is like community guidelines, cultural norms being set, and an influx of new people. Now there's more new people than there are old people. So the cultural norms
don't work in one hive, right?
What?
They bought the token. Hello?
Bot and don't really. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of people who bought the token but don't really know the community